Hello and welcome to Good or Bad. Recently, for a while now, there's been this person that has been requesting I review a certain movie. And I said I'd look into it, but I forgot. He got a little impatient and he told me that there was a bomb in this room somewhere, and that if I don't review Dinocroc, it will go off. So, let's begin. The film kicks off with an Australian crocodile hunter having a bad dream, and then we cut to the intro titles. There is no time for intro titles! There's a bomb!
How'd we do today, Judith?
Okay, so now we see some sciencey laboratory. Oh, let me guess, there's some sciencey people that want to advance science, but in order to do that, they needed to create some man-eating creature which will inevitably escape. Oh, as it turns out, I was wrong. They created two man-eating creatures to advance science, but then one killed the other to make this idiotic woman open the door to see what's going on. I give her 60 more seconds of life. What? She's bringing in a taser that's designed to be non-lethal to humans and probably wouldn't even slow a crocodile dinosaur thing down? Oh, that bitch dies now. Oh, she did die! Well, that was a terrific ending, and this movie was absolutely brilliant. Now, if you don't mind... Okay. Dinocroc makes a bolt for the exit, doesn't even bother killing this guy, and that's that. He has escaped into the wild. Did they just leave the front door open or something? That's some pretty poor security they have. It makes the facility Jason was locked up in seem secure. Yes, I'm still not over that. Alright, so the police come about to inspect the death, and this woman, who I will just call the Jericho woman, mainly because she works at Jericho and she is a woman. Yeah. I'm just that invested at the riveting characters this movie has thrown at me. She tells the sheriff that other Jericho woman died in a freak accident and the thing that killed her died with her, and the sheriff believes her. Doesn't even ask to see any camera footage of the death, but I guess that's just because of her trustworthy face. A moment later we see her telling the cleaner to say he saw nothing. And then one of the scientists says that this Dinocroc may reach full maturity, unlike all the other attempts to create one, which died very young. Meaning they might maybe just want to take a look into doing something about this rampaging, deadly prehistoric creature. You know, if they haven't got much on.
We have an animal loose on the preserve that needs to be fed.
It's critical you feed it at the same time and place every night. We've got to keep it coming back until it can be recaptured.
Okay, I have to admit this is a fairly good plan. Send a team of your private security out there to set up this feeding. Okay, you're gonna send one man. Well, maybe it'll work. Okay, so we will see this plan succeed in a spectacular fashion later. For now, here is a boy who has lost his dog.
His name is Lucky.
No, 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 I'm not doing that. That joke is just too obvious. I am not going to make a joke about the dog's name in correlation to it being lost. It's just too pathetic. I will not even go into it, because I think the standards of comedy should be... Okay, I'll get on with the review. Okay, so Michael goes to see his big brother, Tom.
Tell me you're not out riding your bike this late.
Well, I've been looking for Lucky, and it isn't that late. I mean, it's only 11.
11 is late. So go inside and eat something and get ready for bed. And look, if he doesn't come back by tomorrow, I'll help you find him.
Yes, like us, Tom cares not for Lucky's disappearance. Now sleep, for we have some potential idiocy to witness. The guy that was sent to feed Dinocroc, who I would name, but I sense he isn't going to be around much longer, turns out to be in possession of Lucky. You see, we also found out that Lucky was picked up by animal control and given away to someone who gave a fake name and address, because this person's name was really Edwin. Oh, I did name you. You lucky devil, you. Usually I just let you lot die unnamed. I suppose it had to happen sooner or later. Yeah, I know, distracted bomb, let's move on. Anyway, Edwin tries to tie Lucky down as he plans to feed it to Dinocroc. You bastard! I seriously hope her comeuppance comes up.
No, you ain't. Hey, come back here, you mutt!
Amazing effects, you know. You really believe you're watching a film. The next day we see animal control in chargey person Diane Harper. She is speaking to her father, who tells her that she is keeping too many stray dogs and that she either needs to start giving them away or put them down. Kill the little doggies. How dare he suggest such a thing? I summon the comeuppance! Oh, will you just go away? You are really starting to piss me off now. I'm sorry. Okay, let's carry on. So, Diane goes to see Tom, and the movie explains that they are in love. You know, if the movie has to spell in love out to us, it's not working! Anyway, Diane gets a call about that missing dog, so Tom tags along. They go looking for Lucky and almost get him, but the only good doctor at Jericho, Dr. Campbell, played by Bruce White, is tracking Dinocroc and sees them playing about in the water. I have little faith in their conviction to find Lucky. The good doctor starts yelling at them to get out of the water. Then he beaches his boat and starts firing shots at Dinocroc. But fearing for their lives, Tom knocks the doctor out, and when he comes around later on, he explains who he is, what that creature was, and insists he has got it all handled. But Diane reminds us all that she is in charge of animal control, so it's her job, and they all go and meet the professional Jericho has hired to kill Dinocroc. Meet Dick Sidney. So Dick's... Dick's... He's a crocodile hunter, and we saw him at the start of the movie. Dick's... No. I'm not going to laugh at that again. Dick Sidney says he needs to scope out the area to find more out about Dinocroc before they can effectively trap and kill it. But elsewhere, two hunters are wondering why there's no game to hunt. Then they get eaten, after telling us about a spider on his dick.
Alright, I just, had a goddamn spider on my dick.
Yeah, I didn't really see why there was a need for that line to be added, but there you go. Back at home, Tom and Diane are joking around about almost catching up with Lucky today. Michael overhears and decides to go out looking for his dog. I can't really blame him because they're not really instilling a lot of confidence that they're going to find this dog. After searching around for a bit, the boy comes face to face with Dinocroc. And this just spells it out, doesn't it? Pre-2000s B-movies were better. I mean, sure, we got goofy stuff like Humanoids from the Deep and Carnosaur. Both films involve Roger Corman, and this one does too, but they had practical effects which gave them sincerity that crap like this just doesn't have. I mean, there's plenty wrong with Carnosaur and Humanoids from the Deep, but you can see they tried. The people behind those films cared enough to try. But this is just lazy and lacks anything that could make you invested in the movie. Anyway, Michael runs for his life and takes refuge in a fishing hut. You know, I'm getting pretty sick of this. It's so obvious. All these kinds of films have a safe character. And this kid is obviously the safe character. Nothing's gonna happen to him. He's gonna run away from Dinocroc and ultimately he's gonna get away. Maybe he'll get a little bit bruised, but that'll be it. The kid encounters the beast. Check. The kid runs from the beast. Check. The kid has a few encounters with death, but gets away. Check. The kid gets ripped to shreds. Check. They killed the kid. The kid is always untouchable in monster movies. Well, almost. But Jesus, credit where credit due. They set up this predictable monster-chasing kid routine, and they just kill him. This film has balls. Pathetic CGI balls, but still, balls. They track the creature from its feeding area to the beach and go on the offensive, which involves Tom trying to pass a tranq dart to the doctor but knocks himself out instead. Well done, Tom, well done. We always can count on you in a jam. Then Dick Sidney is swimming for his life, but before Dinocroc manages to attack him, he stabs him and makes his escape. And finally Dinocroc chows down on the doctor and they go home defeated. Sheriff then questions the Jericho woman about the creature, but she denies any and all involvement. The sheriff has had enough of it and decides that they are going to kill this creature once and for all. Diane and Sidney come up with a plan to gas the creature, but that sounded too good of an idea for the sheriff, who opts for the grab guns and shoot it to death option instead. I wonder how this plays out.
5 of my men were killed last night.
So now the sheriff is willing to listen to their idea, and Tom agrees to help because he wants revenge. Oh yeah, he found out his brother died, I may have skipped over that. So they plan to seal it in a tunnel and gas it. A good plan, but what are they going to use as bait?
Oh, no you don't.
Diane doesn't like their plan to use the stray dogs as bait, and says no. He fires her and has her and Tom locked up in a car. But they break out of the handcuffs because, well, everyone knows how to do that. They then set about freeing the dogs and they manage to free each dog in the nick of time before Dinocroc reaches them. Except for the very last dog, which is where stereotypical Australian crocodile hunter comes into it and has a staring contest with Dinocroc, which buys them enough time to free the dog and they all run through the tunnel together. The sheriff drops the shutters, but wouldn't it have been easier to have men on each side rather than have an aging man run from one end to the other? I mean, that plan could have failed immensely, but still, it went smoother than it did for the guy at Jurassic Park. Anyway, they gas Dinocroc, and now that it's dead, the Jericho woman decides to film. Alright then, you all know what's coming. While she is speaking, Dinocroc wakes up and eats her. But this is after the sheriff and Mr. Dick Sidney have buggered off, so it's all down to Diane and Tom to defeat Dinocroc. Tom battles it with a blowtorch and then it gets hit by a train, leaving it wounded and near death, so Tom does this.
For Michael.
What, he just whacks him in the eye? The head maybe? I didn't really see a soft spot on his head where he could just finish him off in one blow. Well, whatever, they drive off and live happily ever after. Oh, of course, Dinocroc survives. You'd have thought they would have learned to check the body. They've already made this mistake once when they gassed it. But, oh, whatever, it's over. Well, that was Dinocroc, and it was a bore fest. Honestly, everything looked fake. Nothing had any impact. Even when there was gore, it was pathetic. Maybe if they'd have mixed practical gore effects with the CGI, it might have worked a bit better. But they didn't. And what adds insult to injury is this film has a gritty tone, but laughable effects. The silly CGI effects could have worked if it had a laughable atmosphere, if it was meant to be silly, but a gritty tone and laughable effects don't go together. Look at something like Carnosaur. I know I ripped into it when I first did it, but I was young, naive, didn't know what I was talking about. But it had gritty effects to go with a gritty tone. Whether you say they're good or not, that's another question, but it was gritty, it matched, it worked. Here, laughable, gritty, doesn't go together. The acting was decent, but the characters were bland, and calling them two-dimensional would be a compliment. The music made it sound like a supernatural movie instead of a monster flick. The only real good thing is the decision they made about the kid. It's like the movie creators recognise this pattern where the kids always get chased by the monster but they never actually die. But they said, no, Not in our movie. In our movie, the kid's dying, and it was a brilliant decision. Especially with the fact that they played around with a cliche. They made us think that, and then they killed the kid. It was a brilliant idea. But unfortunately, in my opinion, it was not enough to save the movie. I'm sure there are people out there that enjoy this movie, but I think if you are looking for a daft horror B-movie, you can do better. You have been watching Good or Bad, and Dinocroc is a crock of shit. See you next time. Alright then, I've reviewed the movie, let's have it. Are you gonna blow me up or not? Huh. I was actually prepared to get blown up there. Well, I don't really have anything prepared for this. I'm just, say a few words, suppose. The review, I think, was a success. I'm just really